just got done working out, and I thought I would come on here and do a little vlog. I thought this would be something fun to do with this journey back on social media. A protein shake for this morning. Last couple of weeks, I have been just focusing on getting a routine down. Because as you guys know, around the 3rd of October, I quit all my little side jobs to sort of throw myself back into social media full time. The thing that I've been doing is researching YouTube, researching the algorithm. I've been taking some online classes for YouTube because I just have been so out of it for so long. I was kind of laughing at myself the other day because, when I did the first channel, like the first paranormal channel, I did not understand algorithms. I didn't research that stuff. I didn't care about it. Now that I'm like really looking into it, I'm realizing back in the day, I had no idea what I was doing. Like I would just record a random video, no rhyme or reason, and upload it and go. Like I didn't consider the title. I didn't consider the thumbnail. I didn't consider, SEO. I think I put like decent YouTube descriptions on most of those videos. So the fact that I obtained the views that I did, I'm really proud of myself. I had no idea what I was doing. The biggest thing I've been doing is sort of just trying to retrain my brain what it's like to do social media full time on my own again. It's really a lot of work. Like you have to have a lot of self-discipline when you're doing social media because I don't have a boss standing over me. You know what I mean? I enjoy working for myself thoroughly. My boss, which is myself, doesn't tell me when and why and how to get things done. I won't get paid. So I've really had to tap into that like higher self as far as just being really consistent and making sure I'm prioritizing me. I've had some friends do some really weird things again. It's like, I feel like I'm a trailblazer. I feel like I've always been like that, even in like my personal life. And people in my life tend to get a lot of inspiration from me, and I'm glad that I can do that. I'm glad that I can be sort of the leader. But anytime I make big moves in my life, people panic, like close circle friends. And that's how you really determine. It's kind of like a game of chess, and you have to understand like who really has some underlying jealousy issues and like who's actually there to be a supportive friend and a supportive person. And the last week I've had some people in my life be like, well, are you sure you want to do that? You're not back on social media full time, and it's, how are you going to make a living off of it? And it's kind of like, it's really none of your business what I decide to do with my life. And those same people questioning me are some people that don't even post on social media, and they've started posting on social media. It's almost like they're in competition with me, or it's like a race. And, I'm so just like in my own lane. Like I do my own thing. I don't think about what other people are doing. Energetically, like no one can compare to you. Like you have no competition. Literally, whoever's watching this, like none of us have competition. The only people we're competing with against is ourselves. But that drives me crazy when that happens. When I have friends do that, because I just look at them and it makes you think, are you a friend of me? I don't know. Why are you posting to social media when you've never done that like your whole life? You just decided to do it now that I'm back on social media. Like it's just weird. I've also had to create some space with relationships with some friends because once again, when you're doing social media full time, I can't get thrown off my path. It's almost like you kind of have to put your head down and focus and not worry about anything around you. And I have some friends that have a lot of drama in their life, and it's very distracting, and I really cannot listen to it or be a part of it while I'm trying to like get back into Ghost Girl Diaries full time. Like I really have to be selfish and put myself first. And I think some of my friends are having a really hard time understanding that, any of the drama going on in their life, when they call me and sort of treat me like I'm their therapist, it affects me directly. And so I'm just trying to create space between myself and those people. I feel good though. Like now that I've been researching all of the YouTube stuff, like I feel confident in my plan of action. To be honest, I haven't been editing any of my podcasts or YouTube videos properly because I haven't had the time to, like I've always been on the run. And now that I can slow down and just really focus on this, I got out my expensive like microphone. I'm in the process of ordering some more wires and cables. I want to make sure that my audio is good. I haven't been editing my audio properly in years, honestly, in years. And once again, it's just been a time restraint. So I actually took some classes on YouTube for DaVinci because I'm going to use DaVinci as my editing software. And I wanted to refresh my brain on audio editing for podcast standards. But what starts with that is a good microphone. And some days I'm just so fast. Like I have this really nice camera that I got. It's a Sony ZV-E10, I think. And I've used the microphone on this a couple of times and it's just honestly not the best. So I had to research the setup to attach my Yeti to this so that the microphone's better. My office, you can probably see behind me, is like an absolute mess right now because I'm trying to reorganize. I'm getting rid of a bunch of stuff. I'm getting ready to post a bunch of stuff on my Depop shop. I'll link it below. I need to just sell a ton of stuff because I get like a ton of free clothes from companies, and sometimes it's to model or take pictures in, and I only wear it once and I never wear it again. Some of the stuff even still has the tags on it. So I'm going to be selling a bunch of purses and shoes. I might even be selling a bunch of wigs that I literally had to model in like for one time. I'll probably only sell those for like $10 a piece or whatever. Just trying to get my office space organized so that when I hit the ground running with all of this, like I'm ready to go. I was talking to Josh the other day because he is building a house in Arkansas, and like he's literally building it from the ground up. And he was I was like, God, you should have started filming it. You should have started like talking about the process of building the house, and you should have shared it on YouTube. And then he said something like, well, you should do the same with getting back into YouTube. Like you should be talking about the process of it. I was like, oh, touche, touche. So I was like, let's just start doing some vlogs. I really want to plan out my content too and really make my this YouTube channel, make it as like professional and take it very serious. So I actually have 3 different series that I'm planning out. So I'm going to do like season 1, 12 episodes. So I'm going to do the podcast, 12 episodes. I'm going to do Creeps and Cosmetics. The twist that I'm going to do on that though is, yes, talk about like the paranormal side of things, but I was watching this documentary the other night. Who was it? It was not Ed Gein. It was BTK. And I was watching this documentary, and with my new like abilities, I could see the entity attached to BTK. And I had a dream that night. My guides were like, when you do Creeps and Cosmetics, you should do the makeup of the entity you see behind that person as you're talking about him. I was like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. So that's going to be a new season of Creeps and Cosmetics. I already have literally like, I have so many. I'm a notebook person. Like I'm obsessed with notebooks. Like when I go to Burlington Coat Factory or Home Goods, or what's the other one, Marshalls, they have the best like notebook section. So I have this notebook, and I literally have all of the episodes for 12 episodes planned out. I just want to get really, really organized with it. It's like this, so that every week I know exactly what content that I need to shoot. And then I'm going to do this other series. I'm not going to announce the title till it starts going, but I basically want to do like maybe 30 minutes a week series where I talk about viral paranormal videos or content that's going on. And I kind of will do like a softbox setup where I'm sort of talking about what my opinion is on it. And I want you guys to give your opinion on it. P.S. Who is following the whole Miami, like the alien thing that happened in January? Like there's some weird stuff going on with that. I'm just like obsessed. I can't help it. Apparently there's some guy that was trying to be interviewed by like the feds because of like this alien thing that happened at the mall. And one of the guys is missing, and like they can't find him because he says he's going to release footage of like what he saw. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's conspiracies. I don't know, but I love that stuff. I just love alien stuff. Anyway, I also got a new planner. It's a huge planner, and I haven't started filling it in yet, but I'm really picky with planners. Like I usually have a smaller one than this, but since I'm going to be doing so much content, I wanted it to have a lot of space. And I did notice that YouTube Shorts are being pushed pretty well. It's really been boosting this channel. So I want to make sure that I'm uploading YouTube Shorts every day as well as longer form content. So yeah, I've just been really like organizing, getting my tech ready, mentally preparing my brain for editing. I feel like editing is just the hardest process. It's the most tedious process. And I haven't been doing it correctly for a while. And I just wanted to make sure my brain was caught up. There's a really cool software called Autopod, and it will sort of cut out the fluff. It saves you about 20% of time when editing, and it costs $29 a month. And I had it for Adobe Premiere, but since I'm not using Adobe anymore and I'm just using DaVinci, they just came out with a beta for DaVinci for Autopod. So I'm really excited about that. That will save me some time for editing. So yeah, I just want to take it serious. And, I heard that the algorithm is going to be changing within the next year on YouTube. And basically, YouTube is trying to turn themselves into like a form of Netflix, which means that if you have content that is good enough, that's considered like television production value, they will add and offer big commercials like they do on Netflix. And when you're talking about commercials on like regular cable or Netflix or any other streaming services, they pay a lot of money. So I think that's the negotiation that's going on currently with YouTube. It will change, they said. So I want to sort of do this now and prepare my channel for when that hits. Because if I'm making enough money off of YouTube, I can go film my own episodes for Ghost Girl Diaries at haunted locations, and I don't have to worry about being signed, by an actual production company. I can do it all myself. That's sort of that like lack mentality, which I feel like I had for a long time. I always was convincing myself in my head, like, oh, you're never going to get signed because you're a girl. And I was in that belief system that like nothing was ever going to work out for me. And I'm such a believer of, whatever you think is what you attract. And I had to just totally get out of that mindset completely. I tried to get Kat and I to sort of match on our schedules to see if I can get her scheduled for a podcast, but I just don't see it happening, unfortunately. Like, we've been trying to connect. We haven't even talked for like 5 days at this point, and our schedules are just not coinciding. So I don't think she's going to be able to make it back for the podcast, unfortunately. I've tried, and I just don't. I think our schedules are just way too conflicting. Yeah, I mean, in the future, who knows who I'll bring on for guests as podcasts, but initially this is going to set on me for like to get it going again. And it's been a hot minute, so I just have to, I really only have about one more day of organizing and like getting all this organized, and then start uploading to Depop so that I can move some of that out of here. Just, it's weird when you go back to working for yourself. Like, it's even though I was doing these contract positions where I was helping social media, companies with their social media, I was technically still a contract worker. I was still working for myself, but it's just not the same when you're really doing your own stuff. Like, for the first few days, I had really bad anxiety because I was used to a certain schedule where I'd get up on Mondays and go do this, and Tuesdays and go do this. And now I'm home again, majority of the day. And then I was like, my schedule got mixed up. So I'm like trying to wake up, at like 6 or 7, do my morning routine, get my workout in, and then I can sort of start the day with like tasks and what I need to do. But people don't realize how hard that is to get into that schedule, that routine of just, if I'm home, it's really easy to slack, and you can't slack when you're working for yourself. And I had to have this kind of conversation with myself where I was like, if I am going full time back into social media again and YouTube, what does that look like? What do I need tool wise to be successful? Which is why I started researching the algorithm. And, I was kind of looking back at content, and I was like, okay, you can't be lazy when it comes to editing. I mean, it was a time restraint, but now it's not. So, editing has to be top tier, and audio has to be top tier. And that's why I was like pulling all these cables out. And I even want to do like little tiny investigations in my studio too. And I was like, frantically looking for all these wires, and so I had to put in orders for all this new stuff because I just haven't been doing it right in so long. I was even thinking about that to myself. I was like, I've always done social media, even if it's like sporadic. And I'm like, why does this feel harder than it was before? And I was like, oh, that's because I haven't done YouTube in so long full time. Like, uploading a couple times a month isn't enough. You know what I mean? Like, to really be successful with YouTube, you need to be uploading at least like 8 videos a month. Um, which is what, two videos per week, and I've definitely not been doing that. They don't have to necessarily be long, but I was like, I gotta really take this serious. Like, and I think the part of taking it serious is planning ahead of time and really like being constructive and creative and disciplined in how you do it. And I'm not gonna let, these friends that I have, make me feel frustrated that like I'm doing something wrong or I shouldn't be doing it. It's so weird. Humans are so weird about how like jealous they get and like territorial when they think you're going to get ahead of them. And you're like, I'm not even thinking about you in this narrative. I'm thinking about myself. Like, I'm the only one in control of my own journey, nobody else. But other people get so weird. And that's like because society has made us like, when someone gets ahead in your eyes, it's just automatic competition. What can I do or say to sort of tear that other person down? And it makes you sort of like think and reanalyze your friendships, because you're like, you should be rooting me on going through this and telling me like, great, you can do this, keep going, not discouraging me. I need to get another floating shelf too, because I have like my Motionless in White collab. Oh, by the way, Motionless in White, purchase this palette. It's going away forever on October 31st. You can use my code Krystal Leandra. I think it was on sale for like $25, but don't miss it. It's going to be gone forever. Yeah, this is just an update on my first uncomfortable vlog on how weird it is to like get uncomfy and get back to basics. And like my mom, before she died, so she died January of 2022, she started getting sick in like 2019, and it was mainly from like botched surgeries. And so I had to take a really big step back from work in general at that time because I was taking care of her. And I didn't realize it had been that long since I was back full time into social media. I'm just ready. I just feel like it's time and I'm ready. And there's really nothing in my path and nothing in my way that's going to stop me. I watched a little bit of footage from Bashar. He was in Sedona and he was doing this like a conference in Sedona. And somebody asked him like, how do you align your higher self with the weight that you want to lose? Let's say someone wants to lose 20 pounds. And he said something so interesting. He said, the word weight, so to us, like, how much do you weigh? Weight actually means that in your mind, you are still waiting to become yourself. Like you're in the waiting room because you're too scared to become yourself. So in a way, you're holding, I was like, I don't know, I found that interesting because I gained a little bit of weight over the summer. When my air conditioning went out and it was like really, really miserable. And I woke up today and I was like, I'm not waiting anymore. Like I am in my higher self. I am ready to go. Nothing's going to stop me. And that goes for like Ghost Girl Diaries too. I just really want to make sure that I'm creating good content for you guys. Like I can't wait on me. I can't wait on anyone else. It's just like time to go, you know? So I was like, okay, it's time to get your whole studio back up and running again. After I film this video, I'm actually going to go grab all my ghost gear. It's probably really dusty and I need to open it up and see what I've got in there. It sucks because I had someone living with me quite a few years ago. I think it was like 2017, and they stole some equipment. My Ovulus, which is like a $300 or $400 Ovulus, went missing. And I had like 2 GoPros that went missing. And I had my paranormal puck that I purchased from Bill Chappell, which is like a $400 piece of equipment. It went missing. I literally went in my garage a couple of weeks ago and I went through every single box that's packed in my garage looking for those items. and they're gone. They've been missing since that person lived with me. So that just really sucks because I know that I'm going to have to replace those items. I do have an Ovilus 5 that I bought from Bill Chappell, but it doesn't work. And I need to ship it back to him. He said he'd fix it for like a couple $100. So anyway, I just have a lot of things I need to get done now that we're back where we're going. And I just have to like not get thrown off my path and not let anybody stop me. And yeah, I don't know. Here is phase 1 of returning to YouTube.